As we design our pages, we want to break them up into different sections, and you're going to find out why this is important in future sections of the class. But we want to divide up the page into different sections. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to use what's called a div tag to divide up this section right here and put our heading as if we were doing a logo or something like that, right? And I'm going to do a tag for our navigation, okay? And I'm going to tab that over so it's easy to see where that begins and ends. I'm going to maybe put a divider in here, and this is our kind of our main content. So I'm going to put the div tags in here, and down in our footer, I'm going to do something very similar. Put a little div tag again, and in that. And again, the thing about div tags is they don't look any different. You can see when I refreshed it here, nothing changed. So all they are dividers that are invisible, that the browser knows this is a section of the page. And once we get into CSS in further sections in the class, you'll be able to move those around the page. You'll be able to apply colors and background colors and all kinds of different attributes to each of those sections, but we need to find a way to divide them up. Now in HTML 4.0 and XHTML doc types, we would use these div tags like I just showed you to divide up all these various sections that we want. And you can still use them just the same. But as a search engine might go through your page, it might be important to know what is your logo area, what is your navigation, what is your main content of the page, or what might be like a sidebar or a footer or something like that. And so they've made what we call semantic markup. And semantic markup is using words that are descriptive of what they do. So we're going to change that div into a header right here. And if I save that and look at it over here, it looks exactly the same. Nothing has changed. If we want to place our navigation here, I can use the nav tags. And again, nothing's changed. And I'm going to take this div and I'm going to call this main and in my main tags. And I'm going to have some footer tags down here at the bottom and some footer tags right here. And again, like I said, they look all the same as before and they function exactly like a div tag does, but gives you, I guess, more flexibility to let the browser know and search engines and anybody else looking at the content know exactly what it is. There's other tags out there, the semantic markup. We're going to use a section tag right here. And this might define out a section of content that we want to add. I'm going to have that paragraph be a section of content. There's also article tags we can use. We could change that out and say that this is going to be an article. And so if we were writing a blog or something like that, we'd want to use the article tag to kind of help define that that is what it is. If we wanted to have a sidebar, maybe this content here was a sidebar, we'd call this the aside tag. And I could put that closer tag right there. And last but not least, there's also a time tag, and you can use this to do a timestamp. So we could say, January 1st, 2021 or something like that, right? And that helps them to kind of go through and know what your page is about, having those different elements in there. And again, these all act, except for the time tag, just like a div tag, which is just a block element that forces everything into a box that goes all the way across the screen. So one example we could do here is we could look at, let me refresh this, and I'm going to go do an inspect element here, and I'm going to pull this up. And you can kind of see where I go over my main tags here, how everything's in that. I go over my nav tags, you can see where everything's inside of that. Inside of my header tags and my heading 1 tag. And so you can kind of visualize using this inspector inside of Chrome where each of those are as I kind of go down. And again, the best way to describe these are they are going to fill an area, kind of make a box, put the content in it, and go all the way across the screen and send the next item underneath it. But really, you don't really see them unless you're looking for them there. One other really important item to note at this point, and this is a really common problem I have with a lot of students, is the difference between heading tags, like heading 1 through heading 6, a header tag, and the head tags. So again, let me just go over this to make sure everybody understands. But a head tag is reserved for metadata. This is not content that will be seen on your main page. Heading 1 tag will make your text large, bold, and put space above and below it. A header tag works exactly like a div tag, and it's just going to divide out a section of your page. And so make sure you understand when to use those and where to use those. But I have a lot of students that, for whatever reason, don't divide up their page with headers or navs or mains or articles. And it makes it a lot easier later on with the CSS to change those and add style and different things to those. So make sure you know the difference and when to use each.